Hello everyone and welcome to today's video where you and I will be making some delicious coffee, but instead of drinking it, we will be painting with it today. Let's not waste any more time and dive into it. So in short, my first attempt at making coffee paint went like this, and my paint was way more transparent than what I would have liked it to be. Therefore, I made a second attempt, which thankfully was successful, otherwise I would have been pretty upset for the wastage of the coffee, aka I would rather drink it than waste it. Anyhow, the second time around, I made sure I make my coffee as concentrated as possible. So here is the recipe I have put together for all of you guys. So the recipe goes like this. In a preferably small cup, put 4 teaspoons of coffee, around 1 teaspoon of sugar, and around 3 or 4 teaspoons of hot water, which should be just enough to mix it. Then mix everything well together and test the color. I loved making this blob to test the darkness of my coffee paint, and it actually looked very pretty to me. Once I was satisfied with the intensity of my coffee, I started adding the mixture in my palette wells, making sure that I increase the amount of coffee in every next one. So the first one has just a little bit and the last one is full of concentrated coffee. I hope that makes sense. Once I've divided the coffee in the wells, I started adding the water. I filled up all the wells to the top, thus ensuring that each one of them has different concentration. The last one I have left as it is, without adding water to it to ensure it's as concentrated as possible. To be fair, I didn't actually need or use all of those different concentrations of coffee in my painting, so maybe the next time when I'm doing it, I'm just doing 3 of them, like one that is quite pale, one medium, and the most concentrated one. That would be more than enough. Now that we have mixed all our colors, let's swatch them. Anyway, guys, I just wanted to mention that before you dip in your most expensive watercolor brush in the coffee, you should make sure that the coffee is cold. Otherwise, I believe it is pretty safe to use with your watercolor brushes, but it just has to be cold because otherwise it's gonna make all the hairs on your brushes curl. And now that I have swatched my 6 different shades, I feel like I'm ready to move on to the actual painting. Today I've decided I'm gonna paint some coffee beans for you guys, which seemed like an obvious choice since we are painting with coffee and my brain just couldn't escape from the thought of it. I'm painting it freehand, aka no sketch, and also I'm not using a reference photo, so obviously it's not gonna be very accurate, however, this is a good brain exercise. Not much to be said on the actual painting though, apart from to be careful to not join all coffee beans together, because this probably would create some mess that you'd have to deal with later. Or of course you could just start all over again. But in general I did not follow any rules for this painting, I just tried to explore my new coffee paints. And if you would like to know how I got inspired to do those paintings with coffee, I can share 2 things that made me do that with you. The first one is spilled coffee. Let's admit it, it happens to everyone and it's messy and sometimes you can find more leftovers from it few days later. And the second one is accidentally dipping my brush into my coffee instead of the water while I'm painting. So I get it. Sometimes we are so concentrated painting that we dip our brush in the wrong cup. It can happen to everyone, and to some of us, it just happens more often than it really should. Naturally, those two things made me think, what if I could actually treat coffee as paint? Can it work? And this is how the decision to try it came to me. Now I'm sharing it with all of you, and let me know, guys, would you fancy trying to paint with coffee, or have you tried it yet? Also, here is an extra tip for those of you that are still watching. You could actually leave the unused coffee paint to dry in your palette and then re-wet it the next time you want to paint with it, just like watercolor. So overall, I enjoyed quite a lot painting with coffee, exploring this new medium. There is definitely a learning curve to it, as it is with everything new, but it was pretty enjoyable to me. I hope you guys also enjoyed watching it and that you guys will try it for yourself. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!